Okay, I'm going to just do a quick overlay of the new feature where you can compare multiple assessments, standards, if you will, against the national. So here's just an example. I did a level 1 science course. These are the internals and their results with a table. And you can see that it's 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018. And then down here, but I have to do it on a separate chart, but it is an improvement because we couldn't do this before. We had to do individual standards, which was very problematic and very laborious. But here we have a comparison 2015, 16, 17, 18 for 1.1. And so, I mean, you could cut and paste these so that you could make them a little bit closer. I could get rid of the table here probably. And then you could sort of put them together. You could even, resize them, screenshot them, resize them, and put them side by side. But at least we're getting to a place where we can do that comparison. We're not next to each other at this point yet, but that's a fairly substantial improvement on what we could do before. If I just show you real quick how you do that, if you go to your, first of all, you have to go into Explore tab, Browse, Courses, All. And if I do the same one that I was just doing, which was the level 1 science with biology, and so if I click, you'll see that there's no results for some of these because we have various versions now as the data gets a little bit more sophisticated. But you just click down through these are the externals, grade, no data there, no data there, grade, no data there, grade, no data there, and grade. And then hit OK. Don't select a year, and then what edpotential will do is put all the years for that particular set of data, and then so it's a little bit, like it's full. You might want to break that up a little bit so that you don't have all your internals there, and then we can do a comparison, which we could never do before. So there's the comparison against all those 1.4. Because there's version 0.3, 0.4, and so on. Now, you'll notice that this is a bit problematic to read. So it's really jammed packed with text and so on, and it's very hard to decipher. So in this particular course, I might be more, have to break that up into maybe just a couple of standards instead of all of those because of the various versions you've got. So you may have to play around with this a little bit and see what works the best. But at least we can now do multiple standards. And we can compare against national decile 10 standards. And you may have to play around with this a little bit to get all the text to work. So you may not be able to, for a course like this, put all those standards together. You may have to say maybe do a couple at a time or 3 at a time. But it does give us a sense. If I can clear that out, and I could do a little bit better look when I do just the internals, because there's not as many for this course around internals. If I go down and do the internals, grade, there's only 2. And so that becomes a little bit more easy to see over 2015, 16, 17, 18. And again, now if I do a comparison, it will generate a comparison, and you can put tables into that if you wish to show number values for those and so on. So we've got, we're getting to the point where this is telling us more with a little less clicking, and now we can show multiple standards.